of drool. Yeah, just in case of drool. Okay, 2 cups. 2 cups. One for mommy and one for daddy. Hey, can you look at mommy? Hey. Hey. Look at mommy. Hey. What's wrong? What's wrong? Yeah. Sleep is not superb, and it got a little worse last night because I took the doctor's advice on something and I shouldn't have. Yeah, but we did get to eat yesterday, huh? Yeah, we did get to eat food. We tried avocado yesterday. Yeah, we tried avocado. Oh, this is full. We have to empty this. Okay, hold on. Let's get a bag. This is the bag, and we're going to fill it with pods. Yes, we are. We're going to fill it with Nespresso pods. Yeah, I think probably, I know, right? Hilarious. The diapers are going to get real interesting, but we had avocado yesterday, which was fun. And I, without even me asking her, the doctor clarified a little bit on the 3 days thing that we all talked about yesterday. So the 3 days for foods is for allergens. So, oops, you don't need to close that. So, like, for example, she said if you're doing eggs, peanut butter, anything like that, those things you do need to wait 3 days. But she said, like, regular vegetables and things, you don't have to wait 3 days. And so I asked her about avocado, and she said avocado is a high histamine food, so give it 2 days. So we're doing avocado yesterday. She had no reaction. We're going to do it again today. And then tomorrow we'll do eggs for 3 days. And then she said for the rest of next week, we can just do a vegetable a day. So just in case anyone was curious about that. We are doing the baby-led weaning talk. That's exactly. We did avocado yesterday, right? I'll have to send you a picture. It's so cute. She had a hard time holding the avocado because avocado's slippery. But we did cut those little strips or whatever. But we held it for her because, like, avocado's just slippery when you're that little. But I think eggs, she'll have an easier time. We're gonna make scrambled eggs, and I think the other vegetables. Yeah. I didn't know either, Anita. Right? Who knows? But today at the farmer's market, we are going to pick up some fresh vegetables. Oh yeah, the mesh eater bags. That's a smart thing. Morning, I just saw the picture. Isn't that hilarious, Avery? I fixed the kids' slathered in avocado. It's a mess, but it's such fun for. Yes, we had such a fun time letting her try it yesterday. She seemed to really like it. She went back for more. I know. Can you believe it? She's already at the food phase. I know. I'm shocked too. Are you asleep? Almost, okay. She dove in for more, which means she must have liked it, right? So, I mean, that's good. Yeah. And like I said, we'll do avocado again today, and then tomorrow we'll do eggs, and we'll have 3 days of eggs, and roll along our merry way. Sorry, you guys don't need to look at milk, right? So yeah, that's the whole kit and caboodle there. Anyone else want avocados? Yes, always. She's like, yeah, finally. Oh my God. The look on her face, Amanda, when she got to try it was like, wait, you're going to let me put it in my mouth? Because, like, we always stop her from putting things in her mouth, always, you know? Unless it's a toy or whatever like that. And she was like, like waiting for us to stop her. And then it got to her mouth and we were like, yay! And she was like, you sure about that? You sure I'm allowed to do this? It was so funny. Yeah, she was shocked she was allowed to have it. Yeah. I can't wait for her to try peaches and nectarines because every time I eat one, she looks like, hey, what's that about? You choking on your own spit? Yeah, so sleepy. Oh, you're my sleepy angel. Yeah. Signal here stings. Okay, bye, Ray. See you later. You guys want to hear something really funny? So, I'm sure you all... What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm sure you all know, they want Farrell for food. Yeah, exactly. You all have heard me like a million times. I call her my sweet baby angel, and I don't even know where that nickname came from. It's just something that I started calling her because she is, I guess. Yesterday, my sister-in-law posted a picture holding her baby, and she said, how am I supposed to get anything done with this sweet baby angel sleeping on me? And I was like, oh, it's catching. Oh, the nickname is catching. Our family now just uses that name, apparently. My mom started it? Did she really? Oh, well, there you go. I didn't even remember that. Thank you for the reminder, Amanda. I had no memory of it. Oh, that's ridiculous, Becca. Amanda remembers things so much better than me. Thank goodness for Amanda. Like, how would we do anything without her? Do you want to reposition so that you're up here and comfy for your nap? Do we? Yeah. Are you napping? Can mommy see your face? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for interrupting you. I said I was sorry. I'm sorry. Mommy's sorry. The most beautiful angel. Oh, yes, that is true. Yes, that's a good point. She did say she was the most beautiful angel. And yes, and I just started calling her my sweet baby angel. You're right. We need an Amanda, and we all need an Amanda. We do. Everyone needs an Amanda. That's right. Truly, truly miraculous. Hey, Brian. Oh, my angel. So sleepy. You can do it. You can sleep. Go ahead, give it up. Drool all over mommy's arm. It's a good thing there's loads of us around. That's fine. Why are MES producers the most socially inept on the... Oh my gosh. I've been watching some of the videos about that. Can you share the perks of your coffee machine? Thinking of Christmas gift for my daughter. Everything. Literally, Christy, I have nothing. The only negative for me is the noise, but I think, most coffee makers make some kind of noise, and I think if I wasn't going live all the time, I wouldn't even notice. If your daughter likes coffee, get it. My niece's favorite is apples and bone marrow. Oh, hey, wait, I was going to ask you about that. What kind of bone marrow do you use since they're not allowed to have salt? Is that, I know. Hi, Ellie. She loves you too. She can't wait to see you. Yeah, you guys are going to play to the best ability as she can play. Did I drop your burger? I did. Yeah. Well, it's just to catch your drool, sweetheart. That's all it's there for. Yeah. Tasha, I'll never go back to any other coffee maker. Neither will I. Like, it would be one thing if the show was struggling, but I know, it's ridiculous. Great. How many days is Zoe there too? Zoe's not here right now, but she will come hang out. Yes, she will want to play with you. And Zoe's better for you to play with because she's your age. You know what I mean? You're both 5, so it's easier for you guys to play because you're both 5. Can you believe that you guys are 5? But you're almost 6. She just turned 5 because you're a little bit bigger, girl. Yeah. Yes, and dramaturgy robot can be... Well, of course. I know. It could have been years from now. It would have been different. He's kicking up a storm. Yeah, sweet baby wants to see her friends. Yeah. They can really feel it. It's true. They're like, new kids. Oh, sorry. It's just water, honey. It's just water. It's just water. Okay. Mommy's got wet hands now. Just boil some... Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yes. Okay, that's what I was saying too. Because my husband was like, wait, there's salt in those. And I was like, well, we'd have to make our own. Is your sister seeing Masquerade? Wait, Masquerade? I don't even know anything about that. How dare you turn on the water? Birthday slime is expected today. Oh my gosh, wait, why did it take so long? Why is everything taking so long right now? That seems like an excessive amount of time for something to get to you. Hi. Hi. Hi, my beautiful angel. Oh, hey, Miles. How are you? She's saying hi. Can you hear her, Miles? She's not allowed to show her face on camera, but she's trying to say hi to you. She wants to say hi to you. That's her saying hi to Miles. My sister would love to see that, Brian. I don't think she knows about it. Post has been super slow. It has. For me also, like things coming to me. Coffee. Nectar of the gods. The only way I get through. Yeah. Yeah. Are you so smiley? Yeah. Hi. Perfecto. Oh, great. Excellent. I'm glad. 250 minimum. Yeah, but for my sister, I'd splurge for her to like give it to her for Christmas. I would do that for her. It was my grandma's name. Yes. Yes. I know, it's true, Avery. We've been talking about that a lot recently, how light her hair's gotten. Becca was right. Her hair did lighten. Becca had the foresight to know that her hair would lighten. Yeah. She did. Yeah. It only looks like that on camera, Amanda. It's not in real life. There's no red to it in real life. But it would be fun. Maybe it will get redder. I don't know. It hasn't yet. In person, there's no red. Only in lighting. But it is very light. In person, it looks almost blonde. She's got these little blonde pieces over here. Like, I don't know if I can show them to you. Like, over here, it's all blonde. No, definitely not like her dad. I'll buy a ticket at $250 for. I know it's the best thing since. Yeah, for sure. Let me see my friends. I know. I know you're so tired. I hope so, Amanda. I think that would be really beautiful if she was a strawberry blonde. But who knows, right? We'll see. It's so funny. It's funny. And the reason it's extra funny is because literally, yeah, no, that's true, Becca. It's not. No one's name is Secret Aquatic Vehicle. But the funny thing is, said Secret Aquatic Vehicle, the very first thing he said when I was giving birth to her, no joke, he said, oh, Sasha, she has your hair. That was the first thing that came out of his mouth when she was exiting my body, to like, he was trying to give me like the boost to keep going or whatever. But I don't like my hair, so that wasn't the, and what I said was, oh no. I love her infinitely, whatever hair color she has, but I didn't want her to have my hair. Yeah, I didn't want that for you, but it's already gone, so it's okay. He was like, yay, and I was like, no, he loves dark hair, so he was thrilled. He was thrilled. He wanted her to have it. Yeah, that's your dad, huh? Yeah, he loves dark hair. He's always wanted dark hair for himself, although knowing his skin color, it would look kind of odd on him. I don't know how that would go. Yeah, time for CBs, which doesn't make sense. Ellie, who doesn't want rainbow hair in there? But I know. No, I want rainbow hair, just not this color hair, Ellie. Can't stay, I have to catch up reading for niece. Oh, niece's birthday, very exciting. Well, where have I been? 1 minute, we're making slime, and then a baby's here. I know, baby. Yeah, she's 6 months old now. Hey, you're okay. I know, you're so tired. I think my hair is naturally rainbow too. What happened though? The baby made it brown. Thank you. Are you gonna nap? Yeah. Tell them more. Half birthday too. I know, you blink and boom. I know. Just take a nap. Give into it. Give into the nap, my angel. Yeah. Give into the nap. You want it, I promise. Yeah, she made my hair thinner too. She and I talked about how thin she made my hair when I brushed it this morning and all the hair came out. Yeah. I washed my hair this morning, so I had to brush it. And I was like, look at all this. Oh, goodbye, hair. There it goes. Goodbye to all my hair. Yes. Goodbye to all my hair. Goodbye, mommy's hair. That's so exciting, Miles. I'm really jealous. I'd like to go to the beach. Your niece was like that. Yeah. All right. Bye, Liz. Oh, have fun. Savannah Banana. Okay. She said bye, Auntie Liz. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, hey, listen, a lake beach is still a beach. I'll take it. I love a lake. A lake is fun. I like a Miles. Will you send pictures for me to see of all your adventures at the lake? I would like to see them. That would make me happy. Yeah. Hi, guys. Is everyone there, or is it just Miles and Ellie? Hi. I can't wait to see you guys. I love you so much. You can't even see me. That's funny. Hello. Miles and Ellie mostly. Okay, well, I was going to say hi to whoever else was there, but I'll just say hi to Miles and Ellie if they're the only ones who want to talk to me. Yeah, you too. I know. Yeah. Yeah. What can I show them that will be interesting to them? Guys, do you want to see what I'm... Oh, hi, Soy. You know what I'm going to do? Not today, probably, but this week. Look what I got to make videos. It's a mermaid slime kit. Pretty cool, right? I think Ellie might like this. It's neat. It says mermaid slime combo kit. Maybe I'll save the box. And Ellie, if you want, maybe you can have the box to keep like fun stuff for your toys in, like little pieces. Like when I was a little girl, I used to use boxes like this to keep, you know, my toddler head. Oh, that's so sweet. You don't have to buy it, Ellie. I'll just give it to you when I'm done. And then you can use it. Emily, your book in the beginning of July. Wait, I ordered your book in the beginning of July. Did you really? I did not see the order. Did you order it on my site or on Amazon? I did not get the order. I don't have any outstanding order. You know what? Email me and I will look into the site. Maybe there was a glitch on the site, but I can ship that out for you today. Happily. I've got a whole stack of them in there and I'm ship them out daily, but I had I will do that for you today. Emily, can you shoot me an email and I will get that done for you? I'm so sorry about that. My apologies. Usually I ship them out same day or the next day. So thank you for letting me know. Wow. I wonder why usually it emails me when I get a new order. I wonder if it's because I paused all the slime orders. I wonder if it paused my email. That would be not good. You don't even need to send me a screenshot. Just send me your email that you used and I can look it up with the email that you used to purchase it. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. My apologies. I will make it up to you with some cool extra stuff. Okay, are we sleepies? We are. We are sleepies. My great nephew is one today. One. Yes, tissue paper is, you know what you should do with the tissue paper? Put the tissue paper in an old like snack box or you're so welcome, either in like a tissue box or an old snack box and let him like take it out and put it back in. They love that for some reason, whatever it is. Okay, so 8:50, we'll mark 8:50 as her sleep. I really am sorry about that because I genuinely have them in stock so I could just ship them whenever. Makes no sense. I'll even make a video of it, which I usually do for autographed ones, which is fun. Just so you know, Emily, I can write your name really beautifully because I love capital E's and I love Y's. So signing your name is going to be chef's kiss. It's a good name. Max said you should make a pink and red heart slime. Yeah, I agree, actually, Max. I love pink and I like hearts, and I'll throw some red in there. If you know, you know. That's right, Amanda. If you know, you know. Yeah, absolutely, I will. I will. All right, let's read for now, and I will do Emily's book later. Okay. So, Amanda, that's funny, actually. It's very funny. Miles says he loves you so much. I love you too so much. But we're reading Princess Diaries, Becca. There's no reason they can't stay. It's perfectly safe. There's no beheadings here. It's all teen drama. Yeah, you knew. So it's just a 15-year-old being extra dramatic, but nothing bad is in this. So you guys can stay and hang out, and maybe you guys will laugh at some of the funny voices that we do for these characters. All right, Sunday, May 4th, 2 a.m. Well, that's it. My life is over. I'd like to thank all of those who stood by me during the hard times. My mother, back before she became a 200-pound quivering mass of bladder hormones, Mr. G for attempting to salvage my GPA, and Fat Louie, my cat, for just being, well, Fat Louie, even if he is totally useless when he's compared to all the animals on Miracle Pets. but nobody else, because everybody else I know is obviously part of some nefarious plot to drive me to madness, just like Bertha Rochester. Take Tina, for example. Tina, who shows up at my party, and first thing she does is grab me by the arm and drag me into my room where everybody is supposed to be leaving their coats, and she tells me, Ling Su and I have it all worked out. Ling Su will keep your mom and Mr. G busy, and then I'll announce the game of 7 Minutes in Heaven, and when it's your turn, get Michael in the closet, and then you kiss him, and then you've reached the height of passion, and you'll ask him to the prom. Tina, I said, really annoyed, not just because I thought her plan was really weak either. No, I was miffed because she was wearing body glitter and really she'd smeared it all over her collarbone. How come I can't even seem to find body glitter in the store? How, and if I did, would it be cool to smear it all over my collarbone? No, because I'm too boring for body glitter. We're not playing that at my birthday party, I informed her. Tina looked crestfallen. But why not? Because this is a nerd party. My God, Tina, we're nerds. We don't play games like that. This is the kind of thing that people in Lana and Josh's parties do. At nerd parties, we play things like Spoon or possibly Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board, but not kissing games. Tina was totally adamant that nerds do, in fact, play kissing games. Because if they don't, she pointed out, then how do you think other nerds get made? I suggested that little nerds get made in the privacy of their nerd homes after the nerds marry, but Tina wasn't even listening to that. She flounced into the main room and greeted Boris, who had actually turned out arrived half an hour before, but since he hadn't wanted to be the first one at the party, stood in the vestibule for 30 minutes, reading all of the Chinese takeout menus that the delivery boys shove under the door. "Where's Lily?" asked Boris. Oh, no, sorry, that's totally wrong. Well, you got to hear a funny voice, kids, but that's not right at all. "Where's Lily?" I asked Boris, because I would have thought that the two of them would have arrived at the same time, seeing as how they're dating and all. But Boris said that he hadn't seen Lily since the march on Les Hauts Manger that afternoon. She was at the group in the front," he explained to me, as he stood by the refreshment table. It was really just our dining table. Oh, there's a form on my website that says contact, and you can just email me through that. But there should also be a link in your email if you can't find that. Yeah. Or that, what Becca just said there. I'm not allowed to say it out loud because if you say it out loud, TikTok closes down your live because they're hateful and they think that businesses shouldn't be able to say their email address, which is ridiculous. But what Becca said right there. Beep, 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 beep. Thank you, Becca, for doing what I cannot. I don't know why. Like, shouldn't I be able to give that to people, especially customers? I don't know. Anyway. Beep, boop, beep. Yeah. It was really just our dining table, and he was shoving Cheetos into his mouth. A surprising amount of orange powder got trapped between the spokes of his Bionator. Oof. It was oddly fascinating to watch in a completely gross way. "You know, with her megaphone leading the chants, that was the last I saw of her. I got hungry and I stopped for a hot dog, and next thing I knew, they had all marched on without me." I told Boris that it is actually the point of a march, that people are supposed to march, not wait for the group members who stop to get hot dogs. Boris seemed kind of surprised to hear this, which I guess is not surprising since he's from Russia, where marching of any kind is outlawed for many years, except for marching for the glorification of Lenin, or whatever like that. Anyway, Michael showed up next with the mix for the CD player, and I thought about having his band play for my party since they're always looking for gigs, but Mr. G said, no way, and he would get us in trouble with our neighbor downstairs, Burl, he always gets in trouble with our neighbor Verl downstairs just for playing his drums, so a whole band might send Verl over the edge. Verl goes to bed promptly at 9 p.m. every night so that he can be up before dawn to record the activities of our neighbors across the way, who he believes are aliens sent to this planet to observe us and report back to the mothership in preparation for their eventual interplanetary warfare. Hey, Alyssa. Oh my gosh, Japan. That's amazing. We're reading Princess Diaries number 5. These people across the way don't look like aliens to me, but they are German, so you could see why Verl might have made that mistake. Michael, as usual, looked incredibly hot. Why does he always have to look so handsome? Every single time I see him, I mean, you would think that I would get used to seeing how he looks since he is with me practically every day, even sometimes a couple of times a day. But each and every time I see him, my heart gives this giant lurch, like he's a present that I'm about to unwrap or something. It's sick, this weakness that I have for him. It's sick, I tell you. Anyway, Michael put on the music and other people started to arrive and everyone was just milling around talking about the march and last night's fairscape. Farscape marathon, except for me, who hadn't taken part in either of those things. Instead, I just ran around taking people's coats because even though it's May, it was a little bit nippy out, and praying that everyone was having a good time and that no one would leave early or overhear my mother telling anyone who would listen about her incredible shrinking bladder. And then the doorbell rang and I went to answer it, and there was Lily, standing there with her arms around this dark-haired guy in a leather jacket. "Hi," said Lily, looking all bubbly and excited. "I don't think you two have met. Mia, this is Jangbu. Jangbu, this is Princess Amelia of Genovia, or just Mia as we call her." And I stared at Jangbu in shock, not because, Lily had brought him to my party without asking first or anything, but because, well, Lily had her arm around his waist. She was practically hanging on to him, for crying out loud. And her boyfriend, Boris, is right there in the next room, trying to learn the electric slide from Shamika. "Mia," said Lily, stepping aside with a look of annoyance. "I really don't say hi or anything." "Oh, hi," I said. Jangbu said hi back and smiled. The truth was, Jangbu was incredibly good looking, just like Lily had said. In fact, he was way better looking than poor Boris, who I hated to admit, who isn't better than Boris. Still, I never thought that Lily liked Boris for his looks anyway. I mean, Boris is a musical genius, and I happen to know that given the fact that I myself go out with another musical genius, so they aren't easy to find. Fortunately, Lily had to let go of Jangbu long enough for him to take off his leather jacket when I offered to put it in the bedroom for him, so when Boris finally saw that she'd arrived and went over to say hello, he didn't notice anything was amiss. I took Jangbu and Lily's jackets and I wandered in a daze back to my bedroom. I ran into Michael along the way, who grinned and said, "Hey, are you having fun yet?" I just shook my head and said, "Did you see that?" I asked him, "Your sister and Jangbu?" Michael looked toward them. "No, what?" "Nothing," I said. I didn't want to cause Michael to blow up at Lily the way that Colin Hanks did when he caught his little sister Kristen Dunst kissing his best friend in the movie Get Over It. Because even though I've never really noticed Michael harboring any protective feelings towards Lily, I'm pretty sure that that's only because she's been dating Boris all this time, and Boris is one of Michael's friends, and he's a mouth breather besides. I mean, you're not going to get too upset over your little sister going out with a mouth-breathing violinist. A hot, newly unemployed Sherpa, however, that might be a different story. And though you wouldn't know it to look at him, Michael is very hot-tempered. I once saw him glare quite formidably at some construction workers who whistled at me and Lily on 6th Avenue when we were coming out of Charlie's mom's. The last thing I needed at my party was a fist fight to break out. But Lily managed to keep her hands off Jangbu for the next half an hour, during which I attempted to put aside my depression and join the fun, especially when everyone started jumping around and doing the Macarena, which Michael had jokingly put on the mix that he made for us. It's too bad that there aren't more dances other than the Time Warp and the Macarena that everybody knows. You know how, like in the movie She's All That and Footloose, everybody starts doing the same dance at the same time? It would be so cool if that happened sometime, like maybe in the cafeteria. Principal Gupta says that the sound system Principal Gupta could be on the sound system reading off the announcements, and suddenly everybody puts on the ya-ya-yas or whatever, and we all start dancing on the table. In the olden times, everybody knew the same dances, like the minuet and stuff like that. Too bad things like that aren't still around. Except, of course, I wouldn't want to have wooden teeth or the pox the way that they did in the olden times. Anyway, things are finally starting to look up, and I was actually having a pretty good time fooling around when all of a sudden Tina was like, "Mr. G, we're totally out of Coke." And Mr. G was like, "How can that be? I bought 7 flats at the drive-thru liquor store this morning." But Tina insisted that the Coke was all gone. And I found out later that she'd hid it in the baby's room. But whatever. At the time, Mr. G honestly thought there was no more Coke. Okay, well, I guess I'll run down to Grand Union and buy some more," he said, and he put on his coat to go out. That's when Ling Su asked my mom if she could see her slides. Ling Su, being an artist herself, knew exactly the right thing to say to my mother, a fellow artist, even though since she's been pregnant she's had to give up oils and works only in egg tempura. No sooner had my mom whisked Ling Su into her bedroom to break out her slides than Tina had turned off the music and announced that we would now be playing 7 Minutes in Heaven. Everybody looked pretty excited about this. We certainly had never played 7 Minutes in Heaven at all parties we'd been to, which the last one of which was at Shamika's house. But Mr. Taylor, Shamika's dad, isn't the type to fall for the out of Coke or can I see your slides thing. He's way too strict for that. He keeps the baseball bat that he once hit a home run with in the corner of the room as a reminder to all the boys on Shamika's dates of what he's capable of if they get fresh with his daughter. So anyway, 7 Minutes in Heaven, that thing, everybody was totally stoked. Everybody, that is, except Michael. Michael is not a big fan of PDA, and it turns out he's even less of a fan of being locked in a closet with his girlfriend. Not, he informed me, after Tina had a giggling fit shutting the closet door with the two of us inside, with Mom and Mr. G's winter coats, the vacuum cleaner, the laundry cart, and my wheelie suitcase. That he has anything against being in a dark and closed space with me, that's not it. It was just the fact that outside the door everybody was listening, and that bugged him. Nobody's listening, I told him. See, they turned the music back on. Which they had. And I sort of had to agree with Michael. This game is stupid. I mean, it's one thing to make out with your boyfriend, and it's quite another thing to do it in a closet with everybody on the other side of the door knowing exactly what you're doing. The ambience is just not there. It was dark in the closet, so I couldn't even see my own hand in front of my face, let alone Michael. Plus, it smelled funny. This, I knew, was on account of the vacuum cleaner. It had been a while since anybody, namely me, since my mom never remembers and Mr. G doesn't understand our vacuum cleaner on account of it being so old, had even emptied the vacuum bag. 100%, Becca, 100%. It makes no, it's not useful at all. No, yeah. It ever emptied the vacuum bag, so it was filled to the brim with orange cat fur and pieces of kitty litter from Fat Louie always tracking it across the floor. Since it was scented kitty litter, it smelled a little bit like pine, but honestly, not in a good way. So we really have to stay in here for 7 minutes? Michael wanted to know. I guess, I said. What if Mr. G gets back and he finds us in here? Oh, he'll probably end you, I said. Well, said Michael, then I better give you something to remember me by. And then he took me in his arms and kissed me. And I have to admit, after that, I kind of started thinking that 7 Minutes in Heaven wasn't such a bad game after all. In fact, I sort of liked it. It was nice being in the dark with Michael all pressed up against me and things that I'm not going to say because I know that Becca's children are in the room. I guess because I couldn't see anything, my sense of smell was that much stronger or something because I could smell Michael's neck really well. And it smelled super nice, like way better than the vacuum cleaner bag. The smell sort of made me want to jump on him, and I can't really explain it any other way. Honestly, I just wanted to jump on Michael. Instead of jumping on him, which I didn't think he would enjoy or be socially acceptable, plus, all the coats were kind of impeding our ability to move around, so I pulled away from him and I said, not even thinking about Tina or Uli Dirickson, or even what I was doing, but I sort of just got lost in the heat of the moment and said, so, Michael, what's up with prom? Are we going or not? To which Michael replied with a chuckle as his lips nuzzled into my neck, which I highly doubt he was smelling. The prom? Are you crazy? Prom's even stupider than this game. At which point I sort of broke out of our embrace and I took a step backward right into Mr. G's hockey stick, only I didn't care because, I was so shocked. What do you mean? I demanded. If it hadn't been so dark in there, I would have run my searching gaze across Michael's face, looking for some sign that he was joking. But as it is, however, I just had to listen really hard. Mia, Michael said, reaching for me. For somebody who thought 7 Minutes in Heaven was such a stupid game, he seemed to be kind of into it. You gotta be kidding. I'm not exactly the going to prom type. But I slapped his hands away. It was hard, to see them in the dark, but it wasn't like there was any chance of me missing because the only thing in front of me besides Michael was coats. What do you mean you're not the prom type? I wanted to know. You're a senior and you're graduating. You have to go to the prom. Everybody does it. Yeah, Michael said. Well, everybody does a lot of lame stuff, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go too. I mean, come on, Mia. Proms are for the Josh Richters of the world. Oh, really? I said, sounding very cold even to my own ears, and that was probably on account of how super attuned they were to everything, seeing as how I couldn't see. My ears, I mean. What then do the Michael Moskovitzes of the world do on prom night? I asked. I don't know, Michael said. We could do more of this if you want. This, of course, he meant making out in the closet. I didn't even credit that with a response. Michael? I said in my most princessy voice, I'm serious. If you don't plan on going to the prom, just what exactly do you plan on doing instead? I don't know, Michael said, sounding genuinely baffled by my question. Go bowling? Bowling. My boyfriend would rather go bowling on his prom night than go to the prom. Does he not have an ounce of romantic feelings in his entire body? Because he got me that snowflake necklace, the necklace that I haven't taken off not once since he gave it to me. How can the man who gave me that necklace be the same man who would rather go bowling on prom night than go to the prom? He must have sensed that I was not taking kindly to this news, and he went, Mia, Come on, admit it. The prom is like the corniest thing in the world. I mean, you spend a ton of money on some rented penguin suit you can't even get comfortable in, and then you spend a ton more money on dinner at some fancy place that isn't probably half as good as number one Noodle Son, and then you go and you stand around in some gymnasium. Maxim's, I corrected him. Your senior prom is taking place at Maxim's. Whatever, Michael said. So you go and you eat stale cookies and you dance to really, really bad music with a bunch of people you can't stand and who you never want to see again. Like me, you mean? I said, practically crying. I was so hurt by this. You never want to see me again? Is that it? You're just going to graduate and go off to college and forget all about me? Mia, Michael said in a quite different tone of voice. No, of course not. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about people like, I don't know, Josh Richter and all those guys. You know, what is the matter with you? But I couldn't tell Michael what the matter was with me, because what the matter was with me was that my eyes had filled up with tears and my throat had closed up, and I'm not sure, but I think my nose started to run, because all of a sudden I realized that my boyfriend had no intention of asking me to the prom, not because he was going to ask some more popular person instead or anything like Andrew McCarthy in Pretty in Pink, but because my boyfriend, Michael Moskowitz, the person I loved most in the entire world with the exception of my cat, the man to whom I had pledged my heart for all eternity, had absolutely no interest at all in attending his own senior prom. I really can't say what would have happened next if Boris hadn't suddenly ripped open the closet door and yelled, "Time is up!" Maybe Michael would have heard me sniffling and realized I was crying and asked me why. And then after he had drawn me tenderly into his arms, I might have told him in a broken voice while my head rested against his manly chest. And then he might have sweetly kissed the top of my head and murmured, "Oh, my darling, I didn't know." And then he would have sworn right then and there to do anything in the world to see my doe eyes shine again. And if that was that I wanted to go to prom, well then by God, we would go to the prom. Only that is so not what happened. What actually happened instead was that Michael blinked at the light all of a sudden, and he held his arm up to shield his eyes, so he never once saw that my eyes were filled with tears and that my nose might possibly have been running, although that would have been horribly unprincess-like, and it probably didn't even happen. Besides, I nearly forgot my grief. I was so astounded by what happened next, and that was that Lily went, "My turn, my turn," and everybody got out of the way as she went barreling toward the closet. Only the hand she reached for, the man whom she chose to accompany her for 7 minutes in heaven, was not the pale, soft hand of the violin virtuoso for whom the past 8 months Lily has been sharing furtive French kisses with and Sunday morning dim sum. No, the hand Lily reached for was not the one belonging to Boris Pulowski, mouth breeder and sweater tucker-inner. No, the hand that Lily reached for belonged to none other than Jangbu Panassa, the hot Sherpa busboy. Stunned silence roared through the room, well, except for the wailing of Sahara Hot Nights on the stereo, and Lily thrust a startled Jangbu into my hall coat closet and then quickly went in after him, and we all stood there blinking at the closet door, not knowing what quite to do. At least I didn't know what to do. I looked over at Tina, and I could tell by the shocked expression on her face that she didn't know what to do either. Michael, on the other hand, seemed to know exactly what to do. He laid a sympathetic hand on Boris's shoulder and said, "Tough break, man." And then he went to grab a handful of Cheetos. Tough break, man? That's what boys say to one another when their heart has been ripped from their chest and tossed onto the floor? I couldn't believe that Michael could be so cavalier. I mean, what about the whole Colin Hanks thing? Why wasn't he ripping that closet door off of its hinges, hauling Jangbu Panassa out of it and beating him to a bloody pulp? I mean, Lily was his sister. For God's sakes, didn't he have an ounce of protective feelings towards her? Completely forgetting about my despair over the prom thing, I was shocked seeing Lily's eagerness to lock lips with someone other than her boyfriend. It made my senses numb. I followed Michael to the refreshment table and I said, "That's it? That's all you're going to do?" He looked at me questioningly. "About what?" "About your sister," I cried. "And Jangbu?" "What do you want me to do about it?" Michael asked. "You want me to haul him out and hit him?" "Well," I said, "yes." "Why?" Michael drank some 7-Up, and there wasn't any Coke. Since there wasn't any Coke, "I don't care who my sister locks herself in a closet with. If it were you, then yeah, sure, I'd be upset. But it's not you. It's Lily. And Lily, as I believe she's amply proven over the years, can take care of herself." He held the bowl of Cheetos out toward me. "Cheeto?" "Cheetos. Who could think of food at a time like this?" "No, thank you," I said. "But aren't you at all worried that Lily's—" I broke off, uncertain how to continue, but Michael helped me out. "Been swept off her feet by the guy that she refers to as a rugged Sherpa with good looks?" Michael shook his head. "No, look to me if anybody was taken advantage of, it's Jangbu. That poor guy doesn't seem to know what hit him." But, I stammered, what about Boris? Michael looked over at Boris, who had slumped down on the futon couch, his head cradled in his hands. Tina rushed over to him and was trying to apply sisterly balm to his wounded feelings by telling him that Lily was probably only showing Jangbu what the inside of a real American coat closet looked like. Even I didn't think she sounded very convincing, and I'm very easily convinced by almost anything. For instance, in convocations where we were forced to listen to the debate team, I almost agree with whichever team is talking at the moment, no matter what they're saying. Boris will get over it, Michael said, reaching for the chips and dip. I don't understand boys. I really don't. I mean, if it had been my little sister in the closet with Jangbu, I would have been furious with rage. And if it had been my senior prom, I would have been falling all over myself in an effort to secure tickets before they were all gone. But that's just me, I guess. Anyway, before any of us had a chance to do anything, the front door to the loft opened and Mr. G came in carrying bags of more Coca-Cola. I'm home, Mr. G called, putting the bags down and starting to take off his windbreaker. I picked up some ice, too. I figured we might be running out by now. Mr. G's voice trailed off, and that's because he held the coat closet open to put his coat away and found Lily and Jangbu in there, making out. Well, that was the end of my party. Mr. Gianni is no Mr. Taylor, but he is pretty strict. Also, being a high school teacher, he is not unfamiliar with games like 7 Minutes in Heaven. Lily's excuse that she and Jangbu had got locked in the closet together accidentally didn't exactly fly with him. Mr. G said that he thought it was time for everybody to go home. And then he had Hans, my limo driver, who we'd arranged beforehand to take everyone home after the party, make sure that he dropped off Lily and Michael, and Jangbu didn't go inside with him. And that Lily went all the way into her building, up the elevator and everything, so that she didn't sneak out to meet Jangbu later at, like, Blimpies or whatever. And now here I am, lying broken in a shell, as a broken shell of a girl, 15 years old, yet so much older in so many ways, because I now know what it's like to see all your hopes and dreams crushed beneath the soulless heel of despair. All her hopes and dreams were crushed beneath the soulless heel of despair. He didn't even break up with her. He just said he doesn't want to go to prom. It's not that deep, girl. It's not that deep. I didn't go to prom either. I saw it in Boris's eyes as he watched Lily and Jangbu emerge from the closet looking flushed and sweaty. Lily was actually tugging at the bottom of her shirt. I cannot believe what has gotten into Lily. How did she get to second base before I did? And with a guy that she's known for merely 48 hours as well? Not to mention the fact that she did it in my hall closet. But Boris's eyes weren't the only ones registering despair tonight. My own have a distinctly hollow look to them, and I noticed tonight as I was brushing my teeth before bed, it's no mystery why, of course, my eyes have a haunted look in them because I am haunted by the specter of a dream of a prom that I now know will never be real. It will never be I in a dress off the shoulder, black, resting my head upon the shoulder of Michael in a tux at his senior prom. Never will I enjoy the stale cookies that he mentioned, or the look on Lana Weinberger's face when she sees that she is not the only freshman girl besides Shamika in attendance. My prom dream is over, and so, I'm afraid, is my life. Sunday, May 4th, 9 a.m., The Loft. It's very hard to be sunk in the black well of despair when your mother and stepfather get up at the crack of dawn and put the Donnas on while making their breakfast waffles. Why can't they go quietly to church to hear the word of the Lord like normal parents and leave me to wallow in my own grief? I swear, it's not enough to make me... This is enough to make me contemplate moving to Genovia, except, of course, that there I would be expected to get up and go to church as well, except that I guess I should be thanking my lucky stars that my mother and her husband are godless heathens, but they could at least turn the music down. Sunday, May 4th, noon, The Loft. My plan for the day was to stay in bed with the covers up over my head until it was time to go to school on Monday morning. That's what people who have no reason for living That is what people who have had their reason for living cruelly snatched from them do. They stay in bed as much as possible. This plan was unfairly destroyed, however, by my mother, who just came barreling in. At her current size, she can't help but barrel everywhere she goes, and sat down on the edge of my bed, nearly crushing Fat Louie, who had sunk down underneath the covers with me and was snoozing at my toes. After screaming because Fat Louie had sunk his claws into her rear end right through my duvet, Mom apologized for barging in on my grief-stricken solitude, but she said she thought it was time that we had a little talk. It's never a good thing when mom thinks it's time for a little talk. The last time she and I had a little talk, I was forced to listen to a very long speech about body image and my supposedly distorted one. My mother was very worried that I was contemplating using my Christmas money for breast enhancement surgery, and she wanted me to know that it was a bad idea, and she thought that women's obsession with their look has gotten completely out of control. In Korea, for example, 30% of women in their 20s have had some form of plastic surgery, ranging from cheek and jawbone shavings to eye slicing and calf muscle removal for slimmer legs in order to achieve a more Western look. This as opposed to 3% of women in the United States who have had plastic surgery for purely aesthetic purposes. The good news, America is not the most image-obsessed country in the world. The bad news, too many women outside of our culture feel pressure to change their looks to emulate ours, thinking that Western standards of beauty are more important than their own countries because that's what they see on reruns of old shows like Baywatch and Friends, which is wrong. It's just wrong because Nigerian women are just as beautiful as women from LA or Manhattan, just like in a different way. As awkward as that chat had been, I was not contemplating using my Christmas money for breast enhancement surgery. I was contemplating on using my Christmas money for a complete set of Shania Twain CDs, but of course I couldn't admit that to anyone. So my mom naturally thought it was to do something with my boobs. On the other hand, what today's talk really takes the cake as far as mother-daughters go. Because of course today was the mother-daughter talk. Not the, honey, your body is changing and soon you'll have a different use for those sanitary napkins of mine that you stole to make into beds for your Star Wars action figures talk. No, no, no. Today was the, you're 15 now and you have a boyfriend. And last night my husband caught you and your little friends playing 7 Minutes in Heaven. And so I think it's time that we have the you know what talk. I have recorded our conversation here as best as I could so that when I have my own daughter, I can make sure to never, ever say any of the things that I remember her saying and how incredibly, utterly stupid they made me feel when they came out of my mother's mouth. As far as I'm concerned, my own daughter can learn about Beep Boop in the Lifetime movie channel for women just like everybody else on the planet. The conversation went thusly. Mom, Mia, I just heard from Frank that Lily and her new friend Jangbo, whatever, that Lily and her new friend were, kissing in our hall closet. Apparently you all were playing some kind of game, 5 minutes in the closet, 7 minutes in heaven. Whatever. The point is, Mia, you're 15 now. You're pretty much an adult, and I know that you and Michael are a couple, and it's only natural that you would be curious about, well, perhaps experimenting. Mom! Gross! There's nothing gross about relations between two people who love each other. Mia, of course I would prefer if you waited until you were older, until you were in college maybe, or even in your mid-30s. Anyway, however, I know only too well what it's like to be a slave to your hormones, so it's important that you take the proper I mean, it is gross for my mother to be talking to me about it. Well, yes, I know, or rather, I don't know, since my own mother would have sooner dropped dead than have mentioned any of this to me. However, I do think it's important for mothers and daughters to be open with one another about these things. I mean, for instance, Mia, if you ever feel that you need to talk about birth control, you can make an appointment with my gynecologist, Dr. Brandeis. Mom! Michael and I are not having relations. Well, I'm glad to hear that, honey, since you are a bit young. But if the two of you should decide, I want to make sure that you have all your facts straight. For instance, since you and your friends are aware, diseases like AIDS can be transmitted through oral as well as... Yes, Mom, I know that. I'm taking health and safety this semester, remember? Mia, nothing about this is embarrassing. It's one of the most basic human needs, such as water, food, social interaction. It's important that if you choose to become sexually active, that you protect yourself. Oh, you mean like you did, Mom, when you got knocked up by Mr. Gianni or by Dad? Of course, I didn't say that out loud because you know what would be the point. Instead, I just nodded and I said, okay, Mom. Thanks, Mom. I'll be sure to, Mom, hoping that she would finally give up and go on her way. Only it didn't work. She just kept hanging around like one of Tina's little sisters whenever I'm over at the Hakeem Baba's. And Tina and I really want to sneak a look at her dad's Playboy collection. Really, you can learn a lot from a Playboy advisor of like what kind of car stereo works best in a Porsche Boxer, or how to tell if your husband's having an affair with his personal assistant. Tina says that it's a good idea to know your enemy, which is why she reads her dad's copies of Playboy whenever she gets a chance. Although we both agree that judging from the stuff in this magazine, the enemy is very, very weird. And they're oddly fixated with cars. Finally, my mom ran out of steam. The little talk just kind of petered out, and she sat there for a minute looking around my room, which is only minorly a disaster area, and I'm pretty neat overall because I always feel like I have to clean my room before I start on my homework. Something about like a clear environment making for clear thinking, I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's just because homework is so boring, I use any excuse to put it off. Mia, my mom said after a long pause, why are you still in bed at noon on a Sunday? Isn't this when you usually meet your friends for dim sum? I shrugged. I didn't want to admit to my mom that dim sum was probably the last thing on anybody's mind this morning. I mean, seeing how Lily and Boris were probably broken up now. I hope you weren't upset with Frank, my mom went on, for ruining your party. But really, Mia, you and Lily are old enough to know better than to play silly games like 7 Minutes in Heaven. What on earth is wrong with playing spoons? I shrugged some more. What was I going to say? The reason I was so upset had nothing to do with Mr. G and everything to do with the fact that my boyfriend didn't want to go to the prom with me. Lily was right. The prom is just a stupid pagan dance ritual, so why did I even care? Well, my mom said, climbing awkwardly to her feet, if you want to stay in bed all day, I'm certainly not going to be the one to stop you. There's no place else I'd rather be, I'll admit it, but then again, I'm an old pregnant lady and not a 15-year-old. Then she left. Thank God. I can't believe that she tried to have the talk with me about Michael. I mean, doesn't she know that Michael and I haven't even gotten past first base? Nobody I know has, with the exception, of course, of Lana. And I assume that Lana has by judging by what got spray painted about her all over the gymnasium wall during spring break. And now, of course, Lily. My God, my best friend has been to more bases than I have, and I'm the one who's supposed to have found my soulmate, not her. Life is so unfair. Hi. Yeah, good morning. You're awake, huh? Well, 9:22. Wasn't quite an hour, but it was something. Hey. Hi, my beautiful angel. Yes. Hi. Are you in a better mood now? Now that you've had those sleepies? Do you want to tell anybody anything before we go to the farmer's market and get you foodies? We get to buy you food. It's pretty rare. Thank you, Becca. You've never had food purchased for you before. It's always just come out of mommy. But now we get to buy food. It's very exciting. We're going to buy some vegetables today for you. Yeah, it's very exciting. This morning she gets to eat breakfast with mommy. She's going to have avocado. Yeah, some pieces of avocado. Yeah. Yeah, very nice, huh? All right, well, Mia's very dramatic. I guess less exciting to buy them food. Yeah, no, of course. I will see. So just so you guys know, I think we decided that Tuesday is going to be Disney Blind Box Roll for Slime, and I will, yes, avocado was a great choice. She loved it yesterday, so we'll have it again today. Disney Blind Box Roll for Slime is going to be on Tuesday, and I will get the agenda up for that today. And that's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle. Wait, what? What am I waiting on, Becca? What am I waiting on? Did I tell you? No? What did you tell me? Tell me what? Yes, 5:30 p.m. My hair is doing some very interesting things right now. Yeah. What did you not tell me, Becca? Max tried avocado salsa at farmer's market and loved it. I also love avocado salsa. Tell him I said chef's kiss. Tell him I said I love it too. We have that in common. Boo, boo, boo. Yay, Max, trying new foods. Yeah, buy two, right? We love a farmer's market. Aguacate. Yeah, I love it. I know he's picky, so it's great. Buy two. And some chips, too. All right, I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I think, let me just check. Let me see how long we're going to be in this book. I think we might finish this book before the end of the month, actually. And then we can do the next one. Let's see, because it's a pretty short book. Yeah, we're at 44%. We're already 50% through it. They gave him homemade tortilla chips. That's amazing. We're already halfway through this book. So let's see, what page are we on? We're at 44%. I know that's not exactly halfway, but it's pretty fast. Page 109. So we'll be done probably by like Thursday or whatever. All right. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.